Okay, so we're going to go down to North Carolina. Charlotte, Mike Rielon, you're on.
Okay, so Olympic High Schools here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're about the fifth largest high school in the state of North Carolina with 2,600 students. Olympic is part of the Bill and Melinda Gates Small Learning Community type of philosophy since 2005. And in doing that, we embrace the NAF Career Academy model, where kids should be involved in experience and make them both career and college ready. And with that, part of our secret sauce is that we've always integrated closely with the business community and the economic plan of Charlotte, North Carolina. So we have built a robust strategic partnership program with over 700 businesses who have volunteered 30,000 hours and over $20 million cash and in kind towards joint ventures that help promote career and college readiness, project-based learning, experiential learning, moving kids through a 9th through 12th grade experience that's been decided upon by our board of directors. And we have 5 different board of directors in 5 key industries that are vital to the economic prosperity of Charlotte, North Carolina as part of the economic plan of this region. So we're integrated with that of the economic plan and how do we help foster prosperity. And as you all probably know, America's got 40 consecutive years of middle class decline. And although we have the highest numbers ever graduating from college. And so with being in so touch with employers who drive what we do, they desperately need talent. And they know that there's a huge disconnect going on between the institution of education and a 21st century workplace. And so we have set ourselves up as the bridge and allowed only businesses and colleges to serve on our board of directors and make determinations about what should school be and what should high school be in the 21st century as we're trying to help develop an experience that's modern, better meeting needs of a 21st century economy. So they're heavily involved with that overall experience and engaged both from a leadership, but as you see from over that span of time since 2005 and 6, donating $20 million over in cash and in kind about what should the experience look like. And part of that is moving kids through this experience so that by the time they're juniors and seniors are ready to do an internship, a paid internship, or hopefully an apprenticeship with regards to our building these relationships with employers that are putting kids on very intentional pathways of education and training and skills that actually they earn a ticket into the middle class in high school with what we do. In this space, that we do, we've all had challenges with project-based learning and what's going on because it's virtual. Because a lot of what we do in the past has always been hands-on, but we still continue to try to integrate that with what we're doing in engineering, what we're doing in advanced manufacturing, what we're doing in computer science, and helping kids still be able to do project-based learning with where we're going. As Steve mentioned, it's in our experience, what's critical is that 9th through 12th grade should foster opportunities and activities that kids can do career and industry awareness, career and industry exploration, and moving them towards intentional preparation. Because they're thinking that I actually may want to do this. I'm thinking I may actually want to go to college and get this kind of degree or this kind of certificate with whatever that space is. So we are providing in general, normally in a normal year, 10 to 15,000 different student experiences that help them do awareness and exploration and moving them to intentional preparation because they really think they may want to do this kind of career or this kind of pathway of how they're starting. With that, with all those trying to replace those this year, we've started what we created called Career Snapshots. We have partnered with the business community. They created 180 5 to 10 minute career snapshots so that our kids can look at short videos. And not only that, on that side, if they're interested in engineering, let's say, or IT, it also connects them to over 150 different paid internships, apprenticeships, and jobs in the community that they can search and find that are connected to their interest areas. So we're working with the business community who want to post those opportunities, better communicate with kids, and especially when it comes to apprenticeships and earn while you learn opportunities. We have never seen what's going on in the community, and we've been doing apprenticeships for a long time, right? And really we have a phenomenal program that's pioneered that with employers. And we have never seen the number of employers in our community. And it may not be kind of a sanctioned traditional European style apprenticeships, but there are so many more American hybrids going on that companies are willing to pay for the education, skills training, and then guaranteeing jobs upon successful completion. And all of these jobs that these high school kids are first earning or having a high school diploma, it's a ticket into the middle class to start. And not that they have a ceiling and that's where they're going to end. Then it gets into how do we better communicate that so youth can take advantage of these opportunities. With that we've done with Career Snapshots, it also fits into another digital experience that we're creating now, and it's called our Life Design Lab. And really all we're doing is stealing the best ideas and practices of Stanford University, who for 15 years has been doing the Stanford Life Design Lab in their engineering school. And within that, even Stanford, and it's the same data that we regurgitate in telling kids and businesses and parents, is that, hey, you know what? 2/3 of you here at school at Stanford, you're going to grow up and you're going to hate or dislike your job. And over half of you will regret your decisions about college. But with that data is how we're trying to encourage kids that happiness and prosperity doesn't happen by itself. You know, there's things in design thinking and of these engineering practices, and instead of just thinking that you're going to design elegant solutions for Google or Apple or Facebook, the most wicked problem all of our kids are going to have to face is how do they design their life? So how do we give them tools to start experiencing and going through this process to better know who they are? And how does my education and training and education both in high school and post-secondary, how do I connect that into my life towards my ambitions, my inspirations, and my goal? You know, what are those key components that I have to be doing in simplifying this that I have to be doing if I'm going to live this life of prosperity and happiness, more so than whenever we look at the data of America, what's going on with the millennial generation and other generations. So within this process of making kids who are both career and college ready, this is this new concept along with Career Snapshots that are helping our children, exposing them to these ideas of design thinking and these best practices of how to, throughout your life, of what are the key elements of design thinking to design your life towards this happiness and prosperity. And I see I've used up all my time, Chris. Chris knows I could talk all day about this, but let me throw it back to Chris and the next teachers.
I'm sure there's some questions. I will be posting later some some YouTube videos on all of this. There's a bunch of them, hearing directly from the students included, as well as the employers that Mike is working with. But let's open up for questions.
Okay, so the first one is, how do you know your model is successful?
So we work with the business community who serve on our board of directors. And so nobody from the high school or nobody's from the school district, they don't get a vote about how we're going to make career and college ready kids, right? So they set up the metrics. Part of it gets to be is, from the start, our graduation rates have increased by 25. Have increased by 25%. 85% of our kids finish with at least one NAF Career Academy diploma. Also, just our kids intern and they do apprenticeships, right? We are the major supplier in this area, especially when you look at apprenticeships. So when you look at the number of dollars and increase in engagement at our school, the number of our kids who get engaged in these opportunities that really they have been provided a ticket into the middle class in high school. These are $175,000 apprenticeships. Our kids get paid $10 an hour when they're in high school, 4-year programs. So all of the employers become our customers. They've been involved with us since 2005, and they are readily on our board being able to tell us, what is the difference between an Olympic kid versus another high school kid that they are seeing. And consciously and deliberately and intentionally, how we set up our experience is based on that feedback, and continually to improve our design of our high school and what we do. So those kids are better prepared to meet the expectations in the workplace, but also, within our college, the folks in our college, in the colleges with us that are serving our board of directors. So we take those metrics of our customers and looking at our data of what the key metrics have been set up by our board of directors and how they've improved so much over the course of time since 2005, 2006.
Thank you. How many different NAF academies do you have, and which themes do you offer?
Olympic offers all 5 NAF Career Academies at Olympic High School. Again, our goal has been, and our mission and vision is, we're here to make career and college ready kids. And we feel based on the best way to make a career ready kid is through this NAF Career Academy model when we look at their data. So intentionally and purposefully with our board of directors, that decision was made. And their metrics and how we get evaluated. Olympic High School is only the 3rd high school in the history of America to have all 5 of its NAF Career Academies receive the rare and distinctive designation as being distinguished NAF Career Academies. So in 40 years, we're only the 3rd high school. We get audited every year by NAF. That information, again, is shared with our board of directors, and that's been intentionally on our part, right? We do not want what we do to be personality driven, that we want it to be an institution and stylized, and always important has been this independent audit that goes on, that's delivered to our board of directors made up of community stakeholders, businesses, and colleges, that we are not internally on our own evaluating ourselves, or the school district evaluating us. We wanted an independent third party providing that information to our board of directors. And again, so we expect our board of directors to keep us accountable, and we think we're going to be better by that, by their giving them the responsibility to keep us accountable.
Thank you. So what percentage of students engage in the, Tim, and I'm not sure if you meant remote learning or virtual learning, like, and then did you
Virtual,
have a
remote.
significant, what, remote? Okay.
Yeah.
Either way,
And then,
yeah.
So all
and
of
then
our,
a significant number of students engaging in remote learning before or I guess that would be called virtual learning, right? Before the pandemic.
yeah. So over half of our kids, we just went back to school, right? So everybody was remote. And then now over half of our students have chosen to stay remote. So we went back to school about a month ago. And even then, less than a half of our students decided to come back for in-person instruction. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so I think the question is, do you, maybe we missed it. Is there a virtual, I know like this is experiential learning, but is there a virtual learning component to this?
To our career academies?
Yeah.
Well, some of our kids can take some remote learning, but we are foundationally an in-person school.
Okay.
And only because of the pandemic, over the past year, we started that. And then what we've done, I think the pandemic actually accelerated innovation. When we look at career snapshots and what we've done with the Life Design Lab, with what we're doing, those are key innovations of really accelerating what we're doing. When we look at our career snapshot, which meets kids where they want to be, and we just started that at the end of late fall, but it's already received 850,000 visits. With kids going to this site to do career exploration, career awareness, and getting connected to experiential work-based learning. And so we're meeting kids where they are, when they want to be, and it's not dependent upon whether or not their classroom teacher is providing them the opportunity. Now they can do it on their own when they want to do it. And we also look at that, career snapshot. I mean, not career snapshot, but in our Life Design Lab that we're doing, and within that workshop series, it is done remote, and it will be continue to be done remote even after now, because it's the kind of classes and workshop series that, in order to reach the amount of kids, we don't want to be dependent upon teachers providing schoolroom time for that.
So you are in a traditional high school, so I'm assuming that you, there's a question about state tests, and taking them, and how the students that do these compare to students that aren't in them.
Yeah, so I can tell you that when we first started in our model in 2006, within the first 4 years, our end of grade test scores increased in proficiency, increased by over 69% when we look at our proficiency scores. By going through our model of authentic learning, kids being able to connect what they're doing in their classrooms to one day being connected to our career academy and some kind of job somehow, and how we do project-based learning within our school, and connecting it to experiential learning that goes on in a workplace that's authentic.
And then there's one more question. I think you answered this, but much of remote learning this year involves one teacher and 20 to 25 students using Zoom or Meet. How does your interaction contrast with what has happened this year in traditional schools? But you did mention that the kids are in a traditional school as well. So was the experience that they had different?
So essentially what's going on with remote learning here, even the kids who come to do in person, the teacher in the classroom still is teaching the remote kids and the in-person kids in the same way. And so it's just that the kids who are coming for in person in the classroom are now right in the classroom while the instructor is teaching remotely to the kids who are at home.
Okay, and then someone wrote, sorry if I missed this, do students enroll at Olympic as a school of choice?
We are a neighborhood school. So one of the great lessons of Olympic High School, we're not a charter, we're not a magnet school. We did not pick off the best kids from other schools, from other areas to come to our school to increase our graduation rates or to increase our test score. From a manufacturing standpoint, engineering, we have the same raw material coming into our school that we always had. It's just that our practices and the ways that we're emphasizing and what the experience should be is different from before because of our career academy experience and always trying to connect what's going on in the classroom with what's in it for them in the future.
That's great. Any other, can you, I just want to do, we can call up here. Oh, there's another,
Yeah,
Tim?
one more question.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
keep coming
please.
in.
Yeah, go.
You provide space for learners to provide feedback to teachers or administrators throughout their experience to include after they've graduated, I guess for like the iteration of the program, to see what's working, what they might need to improve on.
Yeah, so so we have our alumni foundation that we set up with all of this to communicate back to us. Also, our kids have gone through the experience that they also see alumni on the board of directors, and that where they understand that in our process of awareness and exploration, we constantly ask our kids to come back to talk to the other kids, to pay it forward, right? In this process of trying to communicate to them about, here's what I went to Olympic, here are the things that I learned, and I heard about career and college ready, and it's more than just going to any old college to get any old degree, and that I'll be successful and prosperous, and here are the things that I learned, why they stressed to me career and college ready, and both of them, and how that changed the trajectory of my life. And Chris has a really great video done with our kids and done with alumni where those kids express what happened at our school. And these are the same kids coming back to share that with all the other kids and being videotaped so that we show it at freshman orientation about, here are the key things that you have to think about coming to a school like Olympic that stresses career and college readiness, and how my experience from 9th through 12th grade going through the career academies, even though I'm going to Duke, helped me understand that my experience in high school had me really going through to start going through this process of thinking, what kind of degree, and connecting that to what kind of job do I think I want to do one day. So we're a kind of school that's always cultivating feedback and encouraging all those kids to come back to talk to the kids that are at our school now after they go to college and after they're in their careers.
That's it for these questions.
That's great.
Thank you.
Mike, thank you so much.